So in the last video you saw the distances that I did. Let me just put them here and quickly. So what I did was just added a 10 towards the distances and rounded them off. And then you would use all these figures to do the Herman Beta. So now I'm gonna illustrate to you what the Herman Beta is. So the Herman Beta is the voltage drop calculation. It's a voltage drop calculation basically, whereby you need to calculate the cable size that you're gonna use at that particular area for any kiosk, whether you're gonna use the 35, you're gonna use the 50, you're gonna use a 70, or you're gonna use the 95. So this Excel sheet here is just the Herman Beta. So I'm just gonna go through what it is, and then I'm gonna take you through. So seeing that this project is not all gigas, so there are certain things that you can change in the Excel sheet, and there's things that you can't change in the Excel sheet. So for example, the light blue columns, you can change those ones with the right information that you have, or any information that you'd wanna put on there. And then the yellow ones will calculate automatically for you. They have already set formulas. See, if I click on here, it already has a set formula, so you don't need to do anything, only the things that are in blue that you can change. And the red ones, you can change it, but do not change them. So it's just here. So data entry fields, do not change them, calculated parameters, and then that's it. I advise that you check up on what it means to what it means by saying ADMD, the after diversity maximum demand. And basically, I'll leave that as a self-study to you, but I'll explain the design load parameters for domestic consumers. So different consumers have got different incomes and they use different consumption, hence why when we first started, we did the consumption data for every house. So you would expect a rural area to have an alpha and a beta of around about an alpha of 0.3 and a beta of 2.9. And the greatest circuit breaker, they can be like a 20 amp, because they don't have so many things. They just have probably a fridge, they charge their phones, and lights. So the highest MCB you can put there is 20, and their ADMA MD in terms of kVA would be a 0.4. So as you move on to further towns such as rural villages, informal settlements, township areas, the ADM HD obviously increases due to the appliances that they have. So you then expect a higher ADMD. So you can see the story urban area has a high ADMD of 4.5. So with this table, you're just gonna go and you're gonna get the alpha and the beta values for the 7 years, and then you're just gonna plug them in, because they are gonna be asked here at the consumer MCB and the rest. So seeing that this is an urban area residential, we're just gonna go for the urban residential, which is the first one right here. Well, we can go for the second one here, but it also depends on what you have calculated for your expected consumption. So we're gonna, for the purpose of this, we're just gonna go for urban residential class 1. So our alpha there is a 1.23, and our beta is a 5.5, and our highest circuit breaker is a 60 amp, and the ADM HD there is 2.5. So I'm just gonna go ahead and enter all that information. Don't you worry about this we're gonna add later. The amount of voltages, this is just the design parameters. What we are interested in is the 60 amp here, in the alpha, in the beta, and then the rest will calculate itself. The project name, we'll just name it Joe, And since we are doing the first miniature sub, by the way, I'm only doing the first miniature sub, and then the second miniature sub will make sense to you because it's just the same Excel sheet except for a different miniature sub. So one miniature sub, one Excel sheet. Then when you move on to another miniature sub, is another Excel sheet, and then you're gonna do the totaling yourself on a separate Excel sheet. Then you can prepare a BOQ, balance of no bill of quantities basically. So the file name I can just save it as 101. The date here we can change it to the 17th of August 2023. The first miniature sub. Don't worry about the 315 I've put there, and the transformer impedance is 5 based on the town council. The 315 is just basically due to the calculated total kVA expected because of the number of houses connected there. So from there, it's just now moving on to the different kiosks. That was just the summary. So the summary is linked to the different kiosks that you have. So this is should be the first kiosk, the second kiosk, the third kiosk, the fourth kiosk. So for if you rewind back to the video, you would have seen that my first kiosk today. I mean my first. These are feeder cables, not kiosks. Sorry. So I for that for the first miniature sub, I only have got 3 feeder cables, so I'm only gonna require 1, 2, and 3, and then the rest at 4. I can just delete all the data there, just so that it does not count on the Excel sheet. So I'm just gonna ensure that everything is deleted. There we go for the feeder cable. So I go back and then I'm just gonna explain to you what this Excel sheet portrays. So this is because it's linked, it will automatically move over, and then as you can see here it says feeder cable 1 already for you. So here you indicate the circuit from what miniature sub you are powering to what kiosk. So my first miniature sub was powering the first kiosk here, and then it's still the same MCB M sub M slash sub 1 here, and then it's going to go to kiosk 1.2.1. This is another feeder cable. Sorry, I'm supposed to do it on the other side, so I just delete it since I only have one feeder cable there. So the length distance there was stipulated to be 103 after the addition, and then the cable lengths are here, by the way. The cables that you can use based on the town council, you would be required to either use a copper cable, aluminum, or ABC. For this purpose, we are using a copper cable because it's the one that's stated. So we expect for us to have a 70 mil, but you are also going to look at the voltage drop there. So you enter the cable size, the cable length there, and then you enter the cable sizing there. You enter the type of cable there, whether it's aluminum, ABC, copper, or any other thing. And then you enter the quantity. You just enter 1, and then you enter if it should repeat, which you just say no. And then here you enter the number of kiosks that are connected to the system. And seeing that our voltage drop should be less than 8%, the maximum that is permitted there is 8%. So I'm gonna leave that as 0 for now because we haven't chosen the sizes yet. And then the amount of houses connected to the red phase is 3. The amount of houses connected to the yellow phase is 2. And on the blue phase for my first kiosk, the amount of houses connected is 2 also. So we have 2 houses there, giving me a total of 7. So your other Excel sheet, the Joel reticulation sheet, should pair up with the Herman Beta. So from there, you should be able to notice that when we enter the cable sizing here, usually town council, if I am just to go back and see what town council requires, this is a screenshot. what town council requires for their cable sizing. Bear with me. You would get to find out that town council requires a cable sizing of 35, I believe 35. Let me just search for it just for us to confirm. Low voltage design. Where are the cables? This is already trenching. Let me just find the 35. Yes, the low voltage cables that you can use is a 35, is a 70, it's I mean 50, 70, so forth, and it should be a PVC XLP paper insulated lead. It's somewhere there in the drawing, despite me saying it and you're not seeing it. So we go back, and so we have from 35, right? From 35 all the way. So for the first cable size, we're just gonna put a 35 there, and then we're gonna see the voltage drop. Seeing that it's within range, we are good to go. So we're just gonna move on to the second feeder cable. So in the second feeder cable, again, I only have one kiosk connected there, so I only need one. So I only need one kiosk connected there, which is K211, and the length there is 80. And I'm just gonna put a 0 there for now. Copper cables, and then the number of houses connected there is 4, and then another 4. So then I'm gonna start choosing the cable sizing. If I choose a 35 there and enter, it should give me, let me just hide this data because I don't need it, come on, because I don't need all this data here. I'm just gonna hide it for now just to make it easy. So if I use a 35 millimeter cable, then you can see I'm within the range, so it's fine. So this is going to be fairly easy, and it will also tell you here that okay, no, you have either overloaded that cable or you have you are good with the cable. Let me just show you the 16. If I plug in a 16 millimeter, it will tell me that okay, still within the range. But okay, if I increase the houses here, since the houses were 4, let me just say I've got 10 houses on the red, 10 houses here, 10 houses there, and I'm using a 16 mil or the 35. 20 should be, 25 should be efficient. Give me what I want. Oh, 16. So a 16 says I've overloaded that cable, so basically I'll just fry that cable instantly. So that's just the whole purpose of the Herman Beta voltage drop calculation. And I'm just gonna change my cabling size there. Okay, so I'm done with the second feeder cable, and that second feeder cable also has from kiosk 1.1, I mean 1.2.1, then towards kiosk 1.2.2, and the total length there is 139, and it's a copper cable. One of them will update automatically. The amount of houses connected there would be 343. Give me 343. Okay, total of 10 houses connected there. And then that cabling size, if I use a 35, is it okay? Is it within range? So it's within range there. So let me just show you how this is affected. If I was to use a 16 cable there, then it will violate this whole second kiosk, because now the voltage drop experienced within that cable would be more than 8%, although it's saying the cabling is fine. So you just use a more better cable. So Move on to the third feeder cable. Third feeder cable, only one kiosk again. Let me have it as a 0 there. Copper. Amount of houses connected there is a 323, and then need to specify the cable size there. So you can see I'm done with the first miniature sub. The second miniature sub should give me different readings because there are so many houses there and you're gonna use so many cablings. Maybe if I get time I'll show you. Also, please note to always say no for the duplication of the houses. Confirm everything before you go towards the summary. Then if you go towards the summary there, it says your total KVA there experience for that miniature sub will just be 112. But seeing that City of Windhoek only allows for you to use a miniature sub with a KVA rating starting from 315. So 315 is the one that you would put there, and then yeah, you would basically be done. So then you would have that there are three houses connected to the red phase. This is supposed to read as Y, but the white and Y is the same thing. So it just gives you a total there and analytics. And then the cable termination, this is when you're connecting the cables inside the kiosk. They usually have a termination. So that's just the amount of terminations that they are calculating to have within that kiosk. And then you get to find out that for that miniature sub, you're gonna have a total cable length of low voltage of 476. So you take that 476, you go and you find out from the supplier how much a 35 millimeter cable is, and then that's the length that's the distance that you use. So let's say that cable is worth $10 per meter, so you would have a total of, it will cost you 4,760 roughly just for the keyboard. And then you also find out the price for the kiosks. You also find out the price for the miniature subs in every other thing, cable termination. But this will be indicated for you in the BOQ, bill of quantities. Yes. So I'm gonna leave you a mini homework, and then you guys can tell me how you guys did it. So I'll just like you to do for the second miniature sub, which is here, and then just do the Herman Beta calculation. I should be able to drop the Excel sheet to you. 13 houses on the red, 12 houses on the yellow, 12 houses on the blue, and then if you just confirm here, it is what it's giving us. So that's just more confirmation. So thank you.